This year's senior graduation speaker, selected by a panel of faculty and administrators, is Kiera Hahn. Kiera's teachers describe her as an excellent leader, friend to everyone, and strong community member. Kiera's made an undeniable impact on school community during her 4 years as a boarding student. Anyone who knows Kiera also knows that she lights up a room with her infectious energy, enthusiasm, and warm, welcoming smile. Compassionate and empathetic, she's a strong leader, especially in the dorms where she served as a residential life proctor. Her teachers also say she is focused and serious. One teacher shared, Kiera is one of the most hardworking and most organized students I've seen during my time at Hun. I wish I had more students like her in my classroom. She'll be matriculating to Lehigh University in the fall. It's my pleasure to introduce this year's senior speaker, Kiera Hahn.
Hi. Oh. Think back to 2018. What are the words that come to mind when you first think about our freshman year? For me, they're anxiety, nervousness, and fear. When I first came on campus, I was most worried about leaving behind the friends that I grew up with and finding a community in which I would fit in. And then, on top of all of that, everyone kept saying the same sentiment. Cherish these 4 years. They will fly by. If you were like me, when someone gave you that piece of advice, you smiled, nodded, and then shrank into the mode you knew best, survival mode. Because freshman year, at least the beginning, was all about just figuring things out. Figuring out how to make it through the freshman retreat, trying to find your next class, and most of all, figuring out where you belonged. But when I think about freshman year, I also think about the words opportunity and starting new. Because while I was leaving a lot behind and facing the challenge of figuring it all out, there was so much that I could look forward to. As freshman year was ending, I was excited for the opportunity to continue to find my place here. Little did I know, the next 3 years were going to be a whirlwind of change and uncertainty. Our sophomore year is one that will be in the history books. No one could have imagined all of the personal tragedy and loss of loved ones the world would face. We left in March thinking it was a typical spring break, but when 2 weeks turned into 3 months at home, I was no longer homesick for home. I was homesick for Hun. I don't know about you, but quarantining at home, doing classes over Zoom, and staring at my computer all day made me long for the days of grabbing food in Global, wondering where I would sit for community dinner, and even having a discussion over an actual Harkness table and not a Zoom breakout room. I missed my life at Hun. We came back our junior year knowing that our time on campus was not guaranteed, and we had to make the most of every fleeting moment with friends, faculty, and family. We promised that after quarantine and isolation that we would be different, live differently, and that we would cherish our time together and live a more purposeful life. We would say yes. Yes to all the things that scared us freshman year. Yes to things that would make memories that we would fondly look back on and tell stories about. And then there was this year, our senior year. While freshman year was filled with firsts, first game under the lights, first spirit week, first meal in the dining hall, when I came back in August, I had the hard realization that I was beginning the year of lasts at Hun. A lot of my lasts weren't about the Hun campus, the classes, or the building. Instead, I was thinking about how I was leaving behind a community. I won't walk down to the gym to watch baseball players launch dodgeballs at other students during Spirit Week. I won't constantly ask teachers if we could leave class early to skip the long lunch lines. There won't be dorm parents that will bake me cookies and listen to every drama in my life at that particular moment. I won't be honked at by fellow students as I'm walking a faculty child to the bus stop in the mornings. Yes, that girl in sweats on the side of Russell Road with the little boys me. I won't step off the court with my teammates and best friends, and I won't walk into the heart of Hun and say hi to a familiar face, Mrs. Robinson. I'm leaving behind memories and people, and it will never be the same as it is here. While this makes me sad, I know that those moments which become memories are with me always. They shape who we are, who I am, and remind us that we can make it through anything. Now, as we sit through both our first and lasts, first high school graduation, last time in these seats, we're probably feeling an array of emotions: anxiety, elation, relief, and sadness. And that's normal. But I want you to remember your first time on campus and think of how far you've come. Who was the first person you met here? What was your first class? Which teacher made the most impact on you? Remember all those firsts and lasts and those that were a part of them. Be thankful for these past years and everything Hun has taught you. Thank you, class of 2022. Congratulations.